Puerto Lopez was the main place I wanted to go on the coast because it's the main place to have scuba diving. Ecuador is not really known for its scuba diving, but they have the Galapagos, which I didn't go to. They also have Isla de la Plata, which is the poor man's Galapagos, and that's right off the coast of Puerto Lopez. So that's why I came here. That and to rest and relax at the House of Gates. House of Gates was the name of the Airbnb that I stayed at, and it's right next door to the best dive shop in Puerto Lopez, of which there's probably 7 or 8. I talked to 4 or 5 of them. It was off season, so nobody was really going out, but I managed to get in one dive out to the Isla de las Platas and one right in the bay, which was okay, but it wasn't anything special. Neither one of them was anything special, but it was fun because it was diving. And I didn't take any pictures of the diving because at that point I was living in the moment and enjoying myself, whereas the rest of the time, living in the moment and enjoying myself meant taking pictures because I enjoyed taking pictures. And as it turns out, I like making videos, so. But this whole town, the 4 days I stayed in this town, was all about relaxing in a really cool Airbnb, which was right off the beach and totally private, where I could do my sun tanning and resting and relaxing. First night I went to Chuki's, which is on the beach, one of the many restaurants right on the beach, all serving ceviche. And I was told Chuki's has the best ceviche, so that's what I had. That's my Chuki's ceviche. Served with fried bananas on the side. They smash the banana and deep fry it and put it on a plate, and it's lovely. And then a lot of time spent walking up and down the Malecon, looking at the boats, looking at the beach. The sunset set over the mountains, so it wasn't as spectacular as the sunset over the water of Montañita. But it was a really nice beach, nice relaxing town, and a lot of seafood. All those picturesque boats all along the beach, those are actually working fishing boats, and they're going to come in the morning and they're going to bring all kinds of seafood and all kinds of seabirds squawking. And then later at night you go out to the restaurants and eat the stuff that came in. So dozens of boats, and they all pull in. They just pull straight up onto the beach and they offload and they sit there in their little booths and they sell their fish till they're gone. And it's quite exciting, and it's quite a hullabaloo.
¿Camarones?
Hola, camarones, sí, sí.
¿Sí quieres?
No quiero, quiero, pero horneado.
Dale un consuelo.
No, porque son ganaches.
And that night, everything I saw on the beach was on my plate. Look at that stuff. I wanted camarones. I asked for mariscos because I'm stupid. So I got one of everything. And most of it I liked. But, I didn't like the clams and mussels. And I didn't really want heads on my shrimp. The next night I had pizza. You can overload on seafood. So I had pizza the next night. And then I ran into the people I went diving with. And they're a French friend. And I saw that eggs go on pizza. So we sat there on the beach eating pizza, and that might have been where I caught my COVID because that's the closest I really got to any other people sitting across the table outdoors in the beach, but who knows. The great big long pier that you saw on some of those pictures, this is it. There's a little chocolate shop on one end, which is the discovery that I finally made after 3 or 4 days. I took a bunch of pictures of the pier because I've never seen a pier that was completely tiled like that before. And the guys at the dive shop said, not a good idea because it's really slippery. And they put down this anti-slip tape on it, but that peels up. So, I don't know, not a good idea, I don't guess. Yeah, okay, I got some sun. And I had a hat. I wore a hat, mostly. Okay, side trip into Parque Nacional Machililla. The park has a few sections. It's got Isla de la Platas, which is where I went scuba diving. That's where people go to walk around the island and look at blue-footed boobies. And then there's a section of beach that's protected called Los Frailes, and then there's some trails up and through the scrub land. I didn't do those ones, but I did do Agua Blanca. Agua Blanca, they call it a commune of the peoples that used to live there, called the Machilillas, and they're still living there, and they do nothing, and they get a stipend from the government every month, and there's a little bit of a museum there. The highlight of the trip, the first place they took me to was the place to go buy the trinkets, and I did. I bought some keychains, and I bought some cool stuff, and then I looked at their museum pieces, and it was all in Spanish, so I didn't really get that much out of it. The one thing I did understand was that these overturned pottery pieces, that's how they bury people. There was bones inside those things. And then the other highlight was the sulfur pool, sulfur lagoon they called it, and people went swimming in it, and people did a little mud bath thing, and I didn't. So, and that's the sulfur lagoon. It doesn't really fit the definition of lagoon as I understand lagoons, but it was this pool of sulfurous water that they had people swimming in. And this guy was covered in mud, and he posed for a picture for me. And I took a picture of this because of the description. This is what they carve all their little trinkets out of, and it is so cool. It's a little ivory nut, tagua ivory nut. And this stuff was everywhere. Everyone was doing it. Every city I went to had somebody carving ivory nut. All right, so Machililla State Park was slightly disappointing to me because I thought it was going to be like the jungle, but it wasn't. It was kind of more dry this time of year. Apparently, other times of year, it's more wet, more things going on. But one of the microclimates just north of there, called Pacoche, there had an actual jungle there, and there were supposedly howler monkeys. So that's where I went. I went to go visit the howler monkeys. Up and down this long trail. It's about an hour trail through the actual jungle, and here I am looking for howler monkeys. Shh, be quiet. You might see a howler monkey here. Okay, I didn't see any howler monkeys, but I had lunch. I had a wonderful lunch wrapped in banana leaves, and it was chicken in mani sauce, which is a peanut sauce, and it had bananas in it, and it was wonderful. And then, because I didn't see any howler monkeys, I went through the jungle again and still didn't see any. And then I left for Kanoa. There's not much to say about Kanoa, actually. Kanoa had a reputation as a party town, so did Montañita. So I was expecting more of the same. I was expecting tons of restaurants, tons of panaderias, and so it's a bunch of tourist stuff, but really there was not much there at all. Once you got off the main highway, there was no pavement anywhere, and the sandy front Molocon was full of chuck holes, and it was not, I mean, you couldn't barely drive down it. And it was loud. The food stand, the ceviche stand across the street from the hotel, just kept blasting this music constantly, just trying to make it seem like it was a party town, like the reputation it was supposed to have. And part of why it was so quiet there was, it was on the weekend. I was there on the weekend. It should have been busy. But part of the reason it was quiet, I think, was because there was a tsunami warning going on. Kanoa is a fun little town. I can't wait for the noise to stop. I hope the concert stops at some point tonight. That's just the hot dog stand across the street, except it's not hot dogs, it's ceviche. And this was when I started feeling really sick and thinking it might be COVID, so mostly I spent time in the room, and then I'd walk down to the beach and lay on the beach and avoid people at all costs and eat street food. But I did find a bakery. Got myself a mousse cup and a piece of chocolate cake and probably spent like $3. And then, since I thought I was maybe sick, I changed some plans, went straight to Quito so I could get tested for COVID. Yay! Map says 6 hours and 3 minutes. It was a bit longer. We had some issues.